The world of Hollowness is a land riddled with despair and more mysteries than you could possibly imagine. The land portraying so many different environments and faces, those in disarray of the fating of their land and some completely oblivious. But through this dystopia, there has been one term that's always been present during the course of the game, that term being hollow. What does it mean to be hollow? There is dozens of ways you can interpret the idea of hollowness, either a lack of fulfillment or this disconnect to oneself. Not feeling as you normally feel or feeling nothing at all can be a feeling of hollow. Essentially, to be hollow is to be empty, and you can theorize from there. Hollow Knight's ability to incorporate that ideology of hollowness and making it the forefront of a critically acclaimed story is something that's fascinating and overwhelming at the same time. But, hello, I hope you are all doing very well. If it wasn't obvious enough today, I want to take a deep dive into 2017's critically acclaimed Hollow Knight. These past 2 weeks or so I've been playing the game for the first time and having a blast while doing it. But in that same vein, however, I didn't realize how much of a profound experience this would really turn out to be. And to be honest, even through 2 weeks, I more than likely haven't even scratched the surface of what this game really entails, but that's not going to stray me away from talking about the game, of course. In this video, I want to prioritize the idea of hollow, what it means, and the weight that the word carries throughout the entirety of the game and its story. I want to represent that idea of hollow, so if that sounds like it's something you may enjoy, then you'll fit right in. This game has been covered hundreds of times over, so hopefully my interpretation of the game is one you haven't heard before. And a side note, I make analysis type of videos like this for a ton of different games, so if videos like this are something you enjoy, then why not like and subscribe? But with all of that finally out of the way now, let's get into what it means to be hollow. Hollow Knight tells the tale of a fallen kingdom of Hollownest, a land riddled with an infection that turns certain bugs into these zombie-like creatures. We, as the protagonists, stumble into DirthMouth, the town abandoned. A dense fog riddles the town with only one inhabitant left around, the Elder Bug. This opening segment is already an amazing use of being hollow. The town is a shell of itself. In Hollow Knight, the term of hollowness isn't just a condition we can physically find ourselves in. It runs deep into one's psyche. The theme is a literal and metaphorical idea. The town is literally hollow because it's empty, but it's also hollow because of the metaphorical meaning behind the emptiness. As the Elder Bug says, the people of the town all left to the underground to seek their dreams, but in reality it's the darkness that's going to get to them. A grave reality for sure. Speaking of the underground, let's talk about the game's landscapes. Hollownest is sectioned off into 19 different areas where each area has something new to give story and look-wise. Whilst this game's areas have a ton of innuendos for different messages and themes, the areas that mark the idea of hollow are very apparent. Let's start off with one of the game's most important areas, the City of Tears. In the past, the City of Tears is known as the city at this kingdom's heart, Hollownest's heart and Hollownest capital city. When the infection spread across Hollownest, the capital's gates were sealed to stop anyone from entering or leaving the city in an attempt to prevent the infection from reaching the city. However, this proved to be in vain as the entire city became infected. Water now leaks from the blue lake through the cavern's ceiling, causing the rain and giving the capital its current name. If anyone wanted to ever find a perfect example of a physical place that's gone hollow or empty, look no further than an abandoned civilization. The City of Tears was a place where many stayed, whether rich or poor. It was a place to commemorate the higher beings of Hollow Knight's kingdom, a city of great life now abandoned, gone. The infection caused many to die or leave, and regardless of the situation, the place has become hollow. I love the messaging through visuals like this because we can feel the weight of this abandoned city as soon as we step foot into it. Abandoned cities have always had some sort of eeriness to them. The silence is overbearing, only to be broken by some sort of animal that walks by or some sort of decay by the buildings. These once populated places being a reminder of what used to be. And the City of Tears is a great example of that. Even smaller examples like the distant village or even the stag nest, two areas that were completely abandoned in the time of the game's life cycle. While maybe not as lore heavy or as grand as the City of Tears, they're still good examples of the game's narrative nonetheless. But as we all know, a kingdom is nothing without the inhabitants inside the walls. It's the people, the living beings are the reason that this kingdom is given its life. In the world of Hollow Knight, each character is significant in their own way. They each carry their own burden of the hollowness inside of them. Let's start off with the anomaly themselves, the Knight. One of the most bizarre and head-scratching stories of this entire game is the life of our protagonist, the Knight. A silent and small being, they are the literal embodiment of hollow. In this dystopia we live in, their silence almost becomes some sort of reflectiveness to the players, a place where we can actually use him as a vessel to project our own emotions. The knight's silence isn't just some sort of stylistic design either, it was all thematic. It was made with pure intentions to use the protagonist as a vessel. The knight's silence, his thematic design, and his real role in this entire story. He's the perfect protagonist for this story. One of my favorite moments of the entire game was in the intro. The look he gave when looking over DirthMouth was one of the most chilling moments in the entire game. You can see the emptiness in his eyes. And of course, if you know the story, he is quite literally a discarded vessel for the game's Hollow Knight. We learn of this in the Abyss area, learning of the knight's backstory as an offspring of the Pale King. The Abyss is an area of many hollow shells, presumably one of the other offspring of the Pale King that didn't make it. The knight is the most prominent example of being hollow, but what about the other characters, like Hornet for example? Hornet is probably the most well-written character because she's hollow in a different sense. While she might not be hollow literally like the knight, she's hollow in a sense of someone who's aware of the things that she's lost. And in my eyes, she kinda holds this challenge to the idea of the themes of hollow so far, at least on the surface level. From what we've discussed so far, from the areas of the game or the protagonist, there's literal hollowness draped in those things, where Hornet actually is a being. She has a personality and she's a real character that has gone through real things. Her experience with seeing her home dissolve into this dystopia, all of her loved ones, whether it was her siblings or her father, the Pale King, losing them shaped her into what she is now. She is a product of her environment, but she's hollow in the sense that these things made her void of those happy emotions she maybe once had. Those negative experiences made her hollow. A reason why she's lurking in the shadows, she doesn't really display her emotions at all. She's fragmented in that aspect. As humans, we've all had experiences that maybe made us a bit of a shell of ourselves before. Certain situations that made us feel a bit hollow inside as well. That is how I see Hornet. She's not just the daughter of the Pale King, but someone who's been affected by this infection. Her character runs a lot more deeper than on the surface, and honestly, while writing the script, I actually ended up loving her character even more than I did while playing the game. These two characters, the Knight and Hornet, regardless of how they show the idea of hollow, are still written in ways that shape exceptionally well their own versions of it. But there is one more character I want to touch on in this video. The Pale King is easily the most vague and yet important character in the world of Hollow Knight for many reasons. I'm not going to sit down and break all of the extensive lore and theories behind the character because I'll be here for a while, but it's important to know that the Pale King is essentially the originator of this hollow theme. And I say that because he not only created us, but the world of Hollow Nest basically. He's the one who gave life to the bugs who were in this land. He became their king, gave them sentient minds to think, exactly why the bugs around the world can talk and whatnot. But of course, things didn't go as expected. As a result of the king giving these bugs sentience, he ended up getting on the Radiance's bad side, essentially causing the downfall of Hollow Nest. The Radiance then starting the infection, and here's where the Pale King's hollowness really starts to set in. In an attempt to seal the Radiance away, he needed something to act as a vessel, a place or a thing to trap the Radiance and the infection with it. So what he thought of was grim, to say the least. What he thought of was a vessel of his own, he and his wife the White Lady creating offsprings with the sole purpose of using their hollow shells as a vessel for the Radiance and its infection. And those vessels were you. The knight we play as all along was an empty shell of a king who didn't want us as a child, but a mere vessel to keep the infection at bay. If that isn't an example of hollow, then I don't know what is. It's this weird juxtaposition because I understand he's doing it to save Hollow Nest, but he also in the same vein caused this all in the first place. There's a ton of discussion from what I've seen about if the Pale King was right or wrong in his actions, but I'm not here to debate that. But one thing I do know for sure is that the Pale King's actions speak for themselves. Whether it was the pure abandonment of thousands of his own kids to clean something he caused, where a parent should love their children, the Pale King had no trouble leaving them behind. Or the fact that he stripped the will of all the bugs under his control, creating an army of hollow husks to obey his every command. Or even the detachment from his loved ones, the White Lady essentially abandoned just like the rest of his children, and his relationship with Hornet up in the air to my knowledge. These actions by the king, whether you can justify or not, went with him to the grave. Our only real-time sighting of the king is nothing but a hollow shell of his own body. Whether his actions right or wrong, his actions left only one thing to be remembered, and that's the emptiness he left behind. Hollow Knight is a fantastic game, point blank period. I've been so pleased with my experience of it, and I see why it's so highly praised. There's so much depth, and the amount of theories you can pull from this game alone is insane. But I hope you enjoyed this video. The idea of Hollow was something I felt through the entirety of the game, and hopefully I told it in a way where you could feel it too. If you enjoyed, why not like and subscribe? I make analysis videos like this for a ton of different games, so if that sounds something you may be interested in, then you'll fit right in. But that's all for me. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and goodbye.